Well, good afternoon. Welcome to Wednesday night recap.
Wednesday night recap.
Yep.
It's a good Wednesday. It's a Thursday, actually.
It is a Thursday now, and we are in a beautiful place.
Yeah, we're in Pastor's office.
Yep.
He's on sabbatical. This desk is lonely. We decided to...
I wonder if that's him.
Should I answer it? Do you think it's him?
Answer it. We'll see.
Desk of Michael Petrucci. How may I help you? Yes. Yeah, Pastor Michael Petrucci. This is his office. Oh, yes. Wednesday night. Yes. Funny you should call. Wednesday night, we are having a new series. It's called If Money Talked. And so we're actually talking about it now here in the office. But yeah, actually began last night, and it goes on for 4 weeks. If you'd come out, 7 o'clock is when we start. It's a great series, and we'll look forward to seeing you. Hey, thanks for calling. Bye-bye.
What are the chances of that?
What are the chances of that? Yes, Wednesday night recap. We're recapping our series, When Money Talks. Has your money ever talked to you?
Yeah. When I have it.
When you have
it talks. It usually just says, give me the Lynn.
Give me the Give me away, give me to Lynn, or give me to your children, or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
especially the kids.
Or give it to a school,
Yes.
or whatever it might be. But yeah, we began last night our series entitled If Money Talked.
Right.
I guess maybe sometimes we're glad money doesn't talk.
I am. Yeah.
But if we listen, it has to say some things, and it really may have some things that we don't like to hear when it comes to money. And the theme last night, and we can talk about this for a little bit, the theme last night was greed. Greed.
Mm.
And the definition that was given last night was the fact that when it comes to greed, it's an assumption problem. It's an assumption, or it's assuming that everything I get that I need to consume, that it's all for me. And I thought it was pretty interesting.
Yeah. I thought I don't want
No,
to get
please
ahead
go,
of you, but
go.
the thought of saving, whether it's money or whatever, really can be a form of greed. And who doesn't want to save? I mean, that's what we're all trying to do.
Yeah.
But greed in general, and you had mentioned, was it you that mentioned, I don't know if the video said it or not, that you can be rich and greedy, but you can be poor and greedy as well.
Yeah. It affects everybody. Doesn't matter what time in history you lived in, or where your economic status is at. Greed is something that I'm actually reading a verse from Luke chapter 12, verse 15, and it says this, and this is Jesus. Then he said to them, "Watch out, be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in an abundance of possessions." And so it tells us, number one, and we're going to talk about what you were just talking about, to be on our guard against it. Like, you need to watch out. We need to pay attention. Greed is not a respecter of persons. It isn't something that somebody that's wealthy is susceptible to, or people in poverty. Everyone, no matter what race, color, creed, no matter who it is, we all need to be on our guard. And and it says this, all kinds of greed.
Yeah.
And you mentioned saving. It's funny, when we think about consuming, you think of somebody that like gets stuff. Like, remember when you were a little kid and you got like, $5 or $1, and you had to like spend it on something. I was that little kid.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't last.
Yeah, it doesn't last long. You just you have it, you got to spend it. And that can be greed. Everything you get belongs to you. But also, the kind of the polar opposite of that, of the kind of a face of greed, is that whenever you get something, you keep it and hoard it for yourself because, out of fear or whatever it might be. But that greed can also have that kind of a face or look to it as well.
For sure.
And then, of course, Jesus went. This is the prelude to Jesus talking about the rich fool. And you remember that story. Give us like a snapshot of the story, just a real quick idea for those that hadn't read it before.
Yeah. So he wanted to plant, and he planted and got what did they call it? An abundant harvest.
Yep.
And now what was he going to do? Now he's got all this extra, which meant extra wealth,
Yeah.
coming with it. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
So what does he do?
Which is a good question.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
What am I going to do with it all?
First, he thinks he's going to knock down his storehouses and build new ones. But kind of my thought on that last night was, well, really, then whatever you gained by having more abundance, you probably just would spend on tearing down and building up again.
Yeah, true.
Although in the future, now you have more of a storehouse. And then he didn't do that.
Yeah, well, it was really weird because when he did that, and then he said, well, I'm just going to do this, like you had said, and then I'm just going to chill out. I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to eat, drink, and just be merry.
Be merry.
And that was his strategy.
Yeah.
And then at the end, Jesus said, "You're a fool, because your life is going to be demanded from you. And now, who's going to get all your stuff?"
Yeah.
So it's really one of those things that when it comes to greed, it can really cause us to make some bad decisions, and it really messes up the intention of us having a surplus. Is that sometimes God wants to do something with it. He wants to meet a need somewhere, or he wants to accomplish something, in your town, in your community, overseas, whatever it might be.
Yeah. And one of the questions you asked last night was, what are some ways we can avoid? I was sitting next to somebody who kept whispering answers, but they wouldn't share the answers. I was like, yeah, go. I said, I'm about to steal all your answers.
You should.
But yeah, I know, I really should have. But he was just thinking, you had posed a question, what made you feel rich?
Yes.
And, because we always think of money and everything, but it doesn't always have to be that. What was yours?
Mine was having a big stack of paper towels. When I have that, I feel like I'm a millionaire.
Now, so he was saying, when he got a refrigerator that had a water dispenser, he just thought he had never had that before, and he just thought that was great.
Awesome.
But in trying to avoid some of these things, it was, what can we do in order to avoid that? And we talked about asking somebody with more experience.
Yep.
But he had mentioned sleeping on it, because we knee-jerk reaction want to do it. We're better off sleeping on it. It's still going to be there in the morning.
Yep.
The decision can still be made. But, most of the time we make choices in error.
Exactly. Quick decisions are oftentimes the worst, aren't they?
For sure.
So greed. So, hey, we talked about it last night. If money talked. And we're going to be looking at a few different aspects of that. Greed was last night. We got other things coming up. Looking forward to being able to do that with you guys. Again, reporting from the offices of Pastor Michael Petrucci, who will be back in just a few weeks. This is Pastor Brandon and I saying, have a good day.